Hey guys, Richard here with eBike Reviews and Adventures. In today's video, we're going to talk about this new Sixthreezero two front-wheeled reverse tadpole trike. And during this video, we're going to talk about three different things. Okay, we're going to go over the steering and how this steering mechanism works and how well it performs. We're going to talk about the brakes because this is a little unique with two front brakes on the two front tires there. So we're going to demonstrate that and talk about that a little bit. And lastly, we're going to go over the reverse function because this bike does have a built-in reverse function. And yeah, we'll talk about that. So let's get into the video. All right, to get us started, we're just going to ride around here for a moment and demonstrate just a little bit about how this thing performs. Appreciate Sixthreezero for sending that out to us. It's a brand new product for them and very unique product. So I've really enjoyed being able to get out and test it and get familiar with it. And you know, before we go too far, I just want to stress that this is, one, it's a new product, and there's a couple of things on it I think need to be tweaked. I've already talked to the CEO about that. But number two, there's some uniqueness about being able to ride this thing right here. You know, some people are trying to compare this to a trike, and that just doesn't work because it's not like a regular trike. And other people are trying to compare it to a bicycle or an e-bike. And you can't really do that either because, oh my goodness, it's quite different. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're someone who has stability problems, you got some, some balance issues or something, this is probably not the trike for you. But let's just get right in and start talking about, the steering and how this thing leans. Because that's where a lot of people are going to be like, oh man, this is quite different. So you have to lean this like a regular bike to move it around, okay? And if you look down, let's get you down here so you can see the tires. If you look down here and see how this thing leans, that's exactly what it does. You got to lean, and as you do so, the two tires lean together. And it makes it, a little different to control, a little hard to get used to. There we go. Whoa. But, look, it's a fun bike to ride. But, oh my goodness. What am I trying to say? It's a fun bike to ride, just different compared to, say, a trike. Now, a trike, you have to counterbalance when you make your turns because you'll flip over. It's easy to tip the bike over on the front. You don't have any concerns about that at all because this bike, there is no tipping issue, none. It's very stable in the front end when it comes to that regard. You can take this on road, you can take it off road a little bit, some rougher terrain, and there's just no concern about how it tips over. And so I like that about this bike a lot. But getting back to turning, it turns a lot like a regular bike because you have to kind of lean with the bike to make it turn. One of the things that make it a little different is that a regular bicycle with only one tire in the front, you can turn really sharp. But this one has limitations on how far you can turn because it's like a regular car, right? I mean, you can't turn your front tires, but only so far. This is the same way. And there's been a few times now when I was making a turn and trying to make a tight turn, and I wasn't able to turn quite as sharp as what I wanted to, and I almost ran off on the edge of the road a little bit. Now, there's not a design problem. It's not a performance issue. It's just a matter of getting used to the trike and knowing its limitations, knowing how to operate it and what it can do and what it can't do. So here I'm going to do another demonstration. I'm just going to turn around here in the street, turning sharp. There we go. I was able to do that, no problem. So let's get you back up here a little bit. So yeah, it rides really nice. It really does. It rides nice. It's fun to ride, just knowing that I'm a little more stable on it. I don't have to worry about tipping over and things. So that aspect of it, I'm enjoying it a lot, and I think it performs well. Now, there's a little concern over the braking action with this trike because it's got two manual cable pull brakes, disc brakes on the front. And you really have to go through a series of adjustments to try to get it adjusted just right. And I've had to adjust this a couple of times now since I've owned it. And that's because when you have two disc brakes up here in the front, and you have, when you get ready to apply your brakes, if the brakes aren't adjusted exactly right, what happens is one wheel grabs a little more than the other. And what can happen is if one wheel grabs more than the other, it's going to want to pull you sideways. It's going to want to pull a little to the right or to the left. So you always have to be aware that as you're braking, that there could be a little bit of jostling back and forth. Now, once you get this kind of dialed in pretty good, and those brakes are pretty much adjusted the same like they should be, then you'll find that you don't have that problem as much. Let's go ahead and test it right here. I'm going to get up to speed. I'm going to hit the brakes. See that? We stayed mostly straight. There was a little shimmy back and forth, and that's probably because the way the brakes were grabbing onto the rotor, and it was a little different on each side. Let's make a quick turn here. But when I first started riding this, I tell you what, the brakes were not in adjustment, and every time I hit the brakes, man, it wanted to really kick me, right to left. So just be aware of that. Once you get them dialed in and everything's running good, it performs well. I'm gonna do it again. Yeah, I think we got this one dialed in pretty good, because I even locked up the rear brakes right here, and we still stayed nice and straight. Let's get up here. All right, we're going to demonstrate this a few more times. I'm going to hit just my front brakes now. Yeah, you see that? You see what I was talking about, how it was shimmying there? Yeah, there's been a few times where after I braked hard like that, that the brake caliper on one side would be hung up, and you kind of hear it rubbing a little bit on the rotor as you're driving down the road. So I really think the bike should have hydraulic brakes. I think it'd make it considerably better. There we go again. So again, that was with front brakes only, no rear brake use. And we're starting to see that shimmy pretty good. Yeah, I think hydraulic brakes would be a good idea. I mean, you can install hydraulic brakes yourself after the fact. It's going to cost you about $100 or so to buy them. My buddy Gary found some on eBay. I found them on eBay. And we're looking at going ahead and upgrading this to hydraulic, because I think that's going to provide a more even pressure when braking. One more time. Front brakes only. There we go. But you shouldn't use just your front brakes. So when you're using your rear brakes also, yeah, a lot more stable. I mean, yeah, still some shimmy there, but that's just how it is. So that's the braking demonstration. And lastly, let's go ahead and talk about this reverse. Now, I was in touch with Dustin, the CEO of Sixthreezero, and said, hey, Dustin, what's going on with this reverse function on this trike? And he admitted to me that was some miscommunication, I guess, at the factory, because they do put reverse on their other trikes, but it wasn't supposed to be on this one, and the factory put it on anyway. So that's going to be coming off during this next batch that they purchase. So if you happen to purchase from this first batch and you have this reverse trike, he's suggesting people not to use it, okay? Because it's just a little dangerous. So let's talk about that real quick. We'll stop right here. All right, so typically if you're on a regular trike, you don't have to put your feet down on the ground, right? Your feet's not down on the ground, they're up on the pedals. You can slip it in the reverse and simply back up like you're backing up a car. But because this bike does not hold itself up, and you have to balance on it and you have to keep your feet down, putting it in reverse and then trying to back up is a little awkward, because you got your feet on the ground, right? And you're just trying to back up and keep it stable while you're keeping your feet on the ground, but then your feet's dragging, and it just makes it a little more dangerous. It can be done if you get yourself in a situation, you could easily just use your feet to back up on, push yourself backwards. But if you decide to use that reverse function, yeah, it can be done. Just a little awkward, a little dangerous. So guys, that's it. That's the three things people have really been asking about, and I wanted to clarify and demonstrate for you. If there's something else you'd like to know about the Sixthreezero 2 front wheel reverse Tadpole trike, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll try to answer those for you. If you're interested in buying this, just make sure you just follow the link. It's not an affiliate link. Just go on over there to Sixthreezero and check this thing out. Like I say, it is a fun bike to ride. Just takes a little getting used to. And I tell you what, it's an attention getter, because there's a lot of people in the neighborhood here who's been asking me about it, saying, hey Richard, what is that all about? And so I'm getting to know some new people and getting to answer some questions for them too, because it's stylish, it's fun, and people are liking it. That's going to be it for this video. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new here. I'll see you in another video real soon. Ride responsibly, ride safe.